Let me tell you what I hear at least 3 times a week in this community. We got offered a spot on an ECNL team. Should we take it? Or, our current club is GA. Is that going to hurt her recruiting chances? Or my personal favorite, I heard MLS Next is the new standard. Are we behind? And I understand why parents ask these questions. I really do. Because from the outside, the league structure in youth soccer looks like a ladder. ECNL at the top, MLS Next right there with it, GA below that, and everything else underneath. So the assumption becomes, the higher the league, the better the development. The better the development, the better the chances. The better the chances, the better the future. It's logical, it's clean, it makes sense. It's also not really how it works.
Stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you is going to reframe how you think about this entire decision. And if you have a tryout coming up, a club choice to make, or you're just wondering if you're in the right place, this is the video you need to watch first. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Buford, and this channel exists for one reason: to help soccer parents make smarter decisions for their kids, not just on the field, but around everything that surrounds it. Today, we're breaking down the 3 biggest youth soccer leagues in the country right now: ECNL, GA, and MLS Next. And more importantly, we're talking about what actually matters when you're making this decision for your family. Let's get into it.
First, a quick orientation for anyone who needs it. ECNL, the Elite Clubs National League, has been around since 2009. It was built specifically around player development and college exposure, and for a long time it was considered the gold standard for girls soccer. It's expanded in the boys as well, and it remains one of the most recognized leagues in the country among college coaches. GA, that's Girls Academy for girls, and on the boys' side you've got various regional structures. Girls Academy launched in 2020 as a competitor to ECNL, backed by US Soccer. It's grown quickly, and a number of high-level clubs have moved their top teams into GA. MLS Next is the newest of the 3 in terms of wide recognition. It's backed by Major League Soccer, focused heavily on the pathway toward professional soccer, and it's been expanding rapidly. A lot of MLS Academy teams compete here, which gives it a particular kind of prestige in the conversation around elite development.
Now, those are the broad strokes. And yes, there are real differences between these leagues. I'm not here to tell you they're all identical, but here's what I am here to tell you. The league name on your child's jersey is not the thing that will determine how they develop as a player, not even close.
Point 1, it's the team, not the league. I want you to think about this for a second. Within every one of these leagues, ECNL, GA, MLS Next, there is a massive range of quality. There are teams at the bottom of ECNL that are less competitive than teams at the top of GA. There are MLS Next programs with extraordinary resources and coaching, and there are others that are riding the brand name without delivering the substance behind it. The league sets the stage, the team performs on it. What that means practically is this: a well-run club in GA with excellent coaching, a strong training environment, and a culture of real development will produce better players than a poorly run ECNL club that got into the league on reputation alone and hasn't kept pace.
I've seen this play out over and over again. A family turns down a solid GA offer to chase an ECNL badge. Their kid sits on the bench for 2 years, gets limited training reps, and falls behind peers who are playing week in and week out on a lesser league team. The league is a context. The team is the experience. And your child lives inside the experience, not the context. So before you ask which league is better, ask which team is better. Ask which environment will push your child the most, support them the best, and develop them the fastest. That's the right question.
Point 2, coaching quality is everything. If I could reduce this entire video to one sentence, it would be this: find the best coach you can find, and everything else is secondary. I know that sounds simple, maybe even obvious, but watch how quickly it gets ignored when a shiny league name shows up on the table. Coaching is the variable that determines more about your child's development than any other single factor. More than the league, more than the club's reputation, more than the facilities, more than the uniform. A great coach sees your child as an individual. They understand where that specific player is developmentally, what they need to work on, how they learn, and how to push them in a way that builds confidence instead of eroding it. A great coach creates an environment where players are challenged and safe at the same time, where making mistakes is part of the process, not something to be punished.
A bad coach, regardless of what league they're in, can set a player back years. I don't mean a coach who's demanding. Demanding is fine. I mean a coach who plays politics, who rewards favoritism, who embarrasses players in front of their teammates, who has no real methodology, or who is simply not invested in your child's growth. So here's your homework before you commit to any program. Watch practice. Not just a game, a practice. See how the coach communicates. See how players respond when they make mistakes. See whether there's actual teaching happening or whether it's just organized scrimmaging. Talk to current families, not the club director at the showcase booth, actual parents whose kids have been in the program for a year or two. Ask them honestly, does your child feel seen by this coach? Is there real development happening, or are you just paying for games? The answers to those questions matter more than the league affiliation, every single time.
Point 3. Playing time versus prestige. This is the one that causes the most pain, because this is where pride gets involved, on both sides. The parents' pride and honestly the players too. Here's the scenario. Your daughter is one of the better players on a GA team. She's playing 70–80% of every game. She's developing, she's confident, she's improving week over week. And then an ECNL team comes calling. Maybe she makes the roster. Maybe she's a starter, maybe she's not. But the brand is bigger, the travel is more. The other families are buzzing about it. And suddenly the GA situation that was working really well starts to feel like it wasn't good enough. I want to challenge that instinct directly. Development requires repetition. Repetition requires playing time. Playing time requires being in an environment where your child is challenged but not buried.
There is a concept in sports science called the challenge skill balance. It basically says that optimal development happens when the challenge in front of you is slightly above your current ability level. Not so far above that it's demoralizing. Not below your level, which leads to boredom and stagnation. Right at the edge. When a player is riding the bench on a high-prestige team, they are not in that zone. They are watching. They are not getting the repetitions. They are not making decisions under pressure. They are not developing at the rate they could be. And the research on long-term athletic development backs this up consistently. Early specialization and prestige, chasing at the expense of actual playing experience, is one of the leading contributors to both burnout and plateauing in youth athletes. Now, there are situations where a step up in competition makes sense even with reduced playing time. If a player is so far above their current level that the competition isn't pushing them at all, moving up is the right call. But that decision should be based on an honest assessment of where your player is, not on which badge looks better. Ask yourself this: is the prestige for them, or is it for you? Be honest. Both answers are human, but only one of them should drive the decision.
Point 4. The recruiting exposure myth. This one I have to be direct about because I think it causes real harm to families. There is a belief, and it is widespread, that being an ECNL or MLS Next is essentially a prerequisite for getting seen by college coaches. That if your daughter is in GA or a strong regional league, she's invisible to the recruiting process. That is not accurate. Here's how college recruiting actually works. College coaches recruit players, not leagues. They are looking at individual players, their technical ability, their soccer IQ, their athleticism, their character, their academic profile. A coach at a Division I program who wants a left back is going to find that left back wherever she is playing, if she is good enough, and if the right exposure opportunities exist. Now, does league affiliation affect exposure? Yes, somewhat.
ECNL and MLS Next showcase events do attract college coaches. The concentration of high-level college coaching staff at those events can be higher. That is real. But here's the counterpoint. A dominant player on a GA team who is the best player on the field every week, who has a highlight reel, who is being proactive about the recruiting process, that player is going to get recruited. A player who made an ECNL roster, plays 15 minutes a game, doesn't stand out, and is passive about recruiting is going to get overlooked. The recruiting process rewards visibility, performance, and proactive communication. It rewards players who stand out when they play, and you cannot stand out when you don't play. Beyond that, the recruiting landscape has changed significantly. Coaches are evaluating players on video more than ever. Club websites, recruiting platforms, highlight films, these tools have flattened the exposure gap between leagues considerably. And here's something that often gets lost in this conversation. The division level and school fit matter enormously. Most players, the vast majority, are not going to play Division I soccer, and that is completely fine. There are outstanding D2, D3, NAIA, and junior college programs that offer incredible experiences, good coaching, and real opportunities. Chasing a league for D1 exposure when D2 or D3 is actually the right fit is a misalignment that wastes time, money, and energy. The question isn't which league gives you the most exposure. The question is, exposure to whom and for what purpose? So let's bring this all together. ECNL, GA, MLS Next. These are all legitimate high-level league structures. Each of them has produced college players, professional players, and lifelong lovers of the game. None of them is a magic ticket. None of them is a dead end. What determines your child's development and their future in this sport is not the letters on the league banner. It's the quality of their coaching. It's the amount of meaningful playing time they get. It's the culture of the environment they're in every day. It's whether they are being pushed in the right direction at the right level. And it's whether the adults around them, including you, are making decisions based on what's actually right for that specific kid, not what sounds the most impressive at the tournament hotel. Every player's path is different. And the best thing you can do as a soccer parent is slow down, look past the brand names, and ask the questions that actually matter. If this video helped you think about this more clearly, and I hope it did, I want to point you towards something I built specifically for moments like this. It's a short quiz, takes about 2 minutes. It's designed for exactly the kind of decision you might be facing right now. Whether that's a league choice, a team decision, a playing time situation, or something else entirely. It identifies what kind of soccer parenting challenge is most alive for you right now and points you toward the specific resource that was built for it. Because every family's situation is different, and generic advice only gets you so far. Link is in the description. If you're standing at a crossroads, start there. It'll help you find your direction. If this was useful, share it. There is a parent in your circle right now losing sleep over this exact question, and this video might be the thing that helps them exhale. Drop a comment below. I want to know where your child is playing right now and what's on your mind about it. I read everyone. Subscribe if you're not already. New videos every week, all of it built for soccer parents who want to do this well. I'll see you in the next one.